We're talking about Gwindelyn Lloyd. You may be like, who's that? Well, it's Jewell Loyd's mother, who decided to take a couple of pictures with Sophie Cunningham the other night. The putrid old guard of the WNBA is now viciously attacking Jewell Loyd's mother. Now, in case you don't know, Jewell Loyd is a baller. And she posted them online. No big deal, right? It's America. You ought to be able to take pictures with whoever you want and not receive backlash. Except she did.
Why are WNBA fans turning on Jewell Loyd's mom for a harmless photo? Wait until you hear the vile comments they're making and the shocking reasons behind this backlash. Who knew something so innocent could spark such outrage? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
Man, you want to talk about somebody that the Fever could have signed? She's averaging 11.4 this year, points per game. But, I mean, we're talking 19, 24, 16, 17.9. I'm just letting you know right now. I mean, I saw this and I was like, you know what? I'm going to submit another All-Star ballot. So I added Jewell Loyd on this one. And she's going to get my vote. She's been a baller in the WNBA. 6-time All-Star, 2-time champ. And I'm talking about her daughter, Jewell.
So here's what happened. Gwindelyn Lloyd, Jewell Loyd's mom, posted what seemed like an innocent photo with Sophie Cunningham at a WNBA event. Just a couple of people smiling and catching a moment together, right? But as soon as the picture hit social media, people absolutely lost it. The backlash came fast, and it wasn't just petty, it was downright vicious. Fans flooded her post with negative comments, and the tone quickly turned ugly. Some of the things said were shocking. One person even claimed they'd withhold votes for Jewell Loyd in the All-Star game because of her mom's actions. Imagine that, punishing a player's career over a picture her mother took. Then came the personal attacks. A few people dove into Gwendolyn's character and hit below the belt, calling her out in ways that went far beyond reasonable criticism. Some remarks even crossed the line into being racially charged. What started as outrage over a picture turned into a free-for-all of toxic comments.
Well, right here, Gwendolyn posted this, and the attack commenced. And I'm going to tell you, she is firing back at these people. Good for her. Good for her. She's like, nah, I'm gonna let you know how I feel. And it's ridiculous. Here we go, right here. There's Gwindelyn Lloyd posing a picture with Sophie Cunningham, and that's when all hell broke loose.
What's wild is the reasoning behind it. Sophie Cunningham, for some fans, represents a polarizing figure in the WNBA. Her play style and personality attract both intense support and fierce criticism. Fans projecting their dislikes of Sophie onto someone just standing next to her in a picture. That's next level pettiness. But this isn't just about disliking Sophie Cunningham. The real issue is how quick some people in the WNBA community are to gatekeep. They want to control who associates with who, and they're not shy about weaponizing social media to make it happen.
Here we go with some of the ugly responses. I will not be voting for Jewell for All-Star on my 15 accounts. She said, good, and that's your choice. It is this sport. Look at this vile comment. Typical tap dancing black N-word. Jewell should be ashamed of your old ass. And that's how you lose votes. I mean, these people are so weak and so perpetually offended that the WNBA, let me keep it real, WNBA's got the thinnest skin, weakest fan.
Here's the thing to think about. Are these kinds of fans truly supporting women's basketball, or are they more interested in dictating their own vision of it? If you're supportive, wouldn't that mean encouraging interactions, building bridges, and celebrating growth in the sport? Instead, what we're seeing here is hypocrisy at its peak. These same fans preach positivity and inclusivity, but jump at the chance to attack anyone who doesn't align with their opinions. And yet, Gwindelyn Lloyd's story doesn't stop there. How she responded lit up social media just as much, and for good reason. Let's get into why her reply was so powerful. When the backlash rolled in, Gwindelyn Lloyd didn't stay quiet. Instead, she hit back with a statement that was as direct as it was effective. She made it clear that she wasn't about to let anyone dictate who she could or couldn't take a photo with. Her exact words: "I take optics with any player I want. Move on." That one line alone sent a bold message. She wasn't here to argue. She wasn't here to apologize. Gwindelyn was shutting it down, period.
By the way, you click on that, what does that say? Angel Reese stand over here. Wow. Things that don't surprise you at all.
But her response didn't just end there. She also doubled down on her love and support for the game of women's basketball itself, describing her longtime dedication to the sport. To her, being a fan and supporter wasn't about dividing people into teams of acceptable and unacceptable. It was about embracing the sport fully, and she wasn't going to entertain anyone trying to twist that narrative. Some fans immediately applauded her for standing strong against the negativity. "Bravo, bravo," one supporter wrote, aligning with how refreshing it was to see someone push back against the toxicity. However, not everyone saw her response as a win. For some, it became a reason to escalate the criticism. A handful of people doubled down, claiming that her stance was dismissive of how problematic they perceived Sophie Cunningham to be, and insisting that Gwindelyn was ignoring the optics of the situation. The wild part, the hate seemed to keep finding more layers, turning something as positive and personal as a picture into what felt like a moral referendum. But here's why Gwindelyn's response struck such a chord. She wasn't just standing up for herself. Whether Gwindelyn realized it or not, she was also calling out a broader issue in women's basketball fandom. Too often, fans blur the line between rooting for their favorite player and trying to control everyone involved. It's a pattern that comes up again and again in discussions about women's sports, and she brought that toxic behavior into focus in just a few sentences. So the question really is, why does this keep happening? Why does criticism in women's sports so often go beyond the sport itself and attack players' families, or even a moment as simple as this? That's where the heart of this issue lies. Gwindelyn's defiance exposed that reality. Now, where does the WNBA community go from here? Let's talk about it. The outrage over Gwindelyn Lloyd's photo with Sophie Cunningham isn't just about one image. It's bigger than that. It reveals a toxic side of fandom where support comes with conditions, and crossing invisible lines triggers backlash. Fans can't claim to love women's basketball while tearing down those who help grow the sport. Gwindelyn's response, saying she'll take optics with any player I want, sends a clear message. Genuine support means freedom of choice and respect for individuality. If the WNBA is going to thrive, it's up to all of us to challenge toxicity and focus on celebrating the game instead.